Hello, everybody. It's time for our second episode in the series In Our Night Sky. What I'm going to be asking you to focus your outside observations on, the night sky observations for this edition, is the moon. And I know it seems a relatively simple thing to go out and observe the moon, but think, when have you intentionally gone outside to take a look at the moon? And right now, on the 19th of February, so Friday, the 19th of February, the moon, the current phase is first quarter. So it looks like this image here on the left, where you see the right hand side as bright. And here would be the night side of the moon. You can't really see it, it's dark. And then you can see the right hand side is the day side. And then every night for the next about week or so, you'll see a little bit more of the right-hand side is bright as it goes through the waxing gibbous phase, and then it's going to end and be a full moon on the 27th of February, and it'll switch over to waning back to new. So that gives us roughly 1 week to go outside and do some wonderful moon observations. And it's a great time to start this because the moon is highest, the first quarter moon is highest in the sky right around sunset. So in the early evening makes it an ideal time to go outside and see the moon. So there should be easy observations of the moon for the next week, which is why I am covering this material now. And I want to issue you all a challenge, and I'm going to take up this mantle as well, where let's get outside, see the moon on all the clear nights we can. I'm looking out of my window right now, and it's looking like, yeah, pretty clear skies. I can probably go get a picture right after this. I'll go try to do that, and I'll try to start with a nice posting of the moon, the first quarter moon. But let's get out there, take pictures of the moon, use your phone, use whatever camera you have, do the best job you can. Doesn't matter. Just want you to get outside, take a picture of the moon. I'm going to create a Canvas discussion where we can post our pictures of the moon. And that's not going to be limited, and it's not going to end on the 27th. Let's just keep that going for the full semester. But right now is an ideal time to go out and observe some of the phases of the moon. We have roughly a week, so we'll observe a full quarter of the lunar cycle, a quarter of the synodic month, one might say. And one thing to keep in mind is I'm about to show you what time the first quarter moon rises and sets, but that's going to change. The moon rises at about 50 minutes later every day. This is something you can experience if you're going out and making a concerted effort to observe the moon several days in a row. All right, so before I actually show you and give you some instructions on how to go see the moon, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of information about how the moon moves through the sky. And really, if you start thinking about this and you really practice it, and if you're interested in learning how to do this, you can contact me, and I'll be happy to teach you how to use the moon as a clock. Because the first quarter moon rises right around noon, so it's up already. I'm filming this at about 5 p.m. It's going to reach the meridian at 6 p.m., so in roughly about an hour, a little bit later, because it's just barely past first quarter, and then it'll set right around midnight, meaning it's an easy time for us to observe it. Now, I want you to take a look at how it travels through the sky, up for roughly 12 hours. And as it moves, notice that it's rotating. Our view of it is rotating. And now you can see roughly where the first quarter moon will be as it rises in the east, crosses the meridian halfway through its journey in the sky at due south, and then sets in the west. So if you go out around midnight tonight, you will see the setting moon. If you go out tomorrow, it's rising right now, just about, let's call it about 12:30 or so. About 15 minutes later, so it'll be rising around 1:20 p.m. tomorrow. It rises about 15 minutes later every day. And you can use this. This is just a little waypoint just to show you that where the first quarter is. And this changes by about 50 minutes every day. So by the time we reach the full moon is highest in the sky at midnight. No surprise there. So that full moon, it crosses the meridian at about midnight, which means it rises at about 6 p.m. and it'll set around 6 a.m. It's up at night. All right. So now that we have a little bit of orientation of how the moon is moving through the sky, where to expect the first quarter moon, and how it's going to be rising 52 minutes later every night, let's bring up Stellarium and actually take a look so I can give you some instructions on how you can go out and easily observe the moon over the next week. So I have Stellarium set up and primed for me. Let me go ahead and just introduce you to what I have this set up as. Go down here to the time and date window. Notice I have it set at the current date, Friday, the 19th of February. And I have it set for 7 p.m. Stellarium uses military time, so 1900 is 7 p.m. And here we have the moon. Now, notice you can't see the ground because at 7 p.m. it's very close to its meridian crossing, about as high as it can get in the sky. So our horizon's way down here. And since I'm doing a stereographic view, if I zoom out, it gets kind of curved. But now you can see the horizon and the moon. So right around sunset for the next couple of days is an ideal time to go outside, look nearly due south, and crane your neck up until you see the moon. If you're watching this video on the film date, pretty much whenever I release it, and there will be a Canvas announcement, then how can you go out? Well, let's actually just do it for tomorrow. If I can find my cursor. Oh, my cursor has disappeared. Give me just 1 second. There's my cursor back. Don't know what happened to it. All right, now I've got my cursor back so I can actually see what I'm doing. So here's my date and time window. And let's do this for tomorrow. So Saturday the 20th. Notice that as I move to the 20th, the moon has moved towards the east. It's risen a little bit later, but where can you find it tomorrow night at 7 p.m.? So I can click on it. I can go ahead and check its azimuth and altitude. It's at about 75 degrees. Wow, that's really craning your neck. That's really, really high up in the sky for the moon. So tomorrow night, if you want to go observe a little bit past the first quarter moon, the earliest parts of our waxing gibbous, then go outside, use your fist, hold it at arm's length, measure across your fingers. So from the bottom of the fist to the top of the fist is about 10 degrees. Set that at straight ahead and count up 7 fists. So 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 70 degrees, and do about half a fist. And you will see the moon. So also, this is an opportune time to be seeing the moon because it's going to bring back our In the Night Sky episode 1 object of Betelgeuse and Orion. So the constellation Orion, here's Orion's belt, the bright red star Betelgeuse, the bright blue star Rigel, and if you go down on the sword right around there, you'll see that Orion Nebula. Another thing to be checking out, so I'll go back to, I'll keep it on Saturday, is notice that the moon's not too far from Mars. So look for the bright red dot near the moon and you'll see Mars. And while you're looking at Mars, go ahead and give a wave to old Perseverance rover, or I should say new Perseverance rover, because yesterday on the 18th of February, NASA and humans just in general put another robotic craft that can drive around on the surface of Mars, and it comes equipped with a helicopter that they're going to try to fly around on a different world. An amazing piece of technology. So congratulations to NASA. We all deserve to pay our respects. So when you're outside looking at the moon, find Mars and give Perseverance a little bit of a wave from all of us Earthlings to our now Martian resident, the Perseverance rover. Okay, so now we have seen Friday and Saturday, and I'm just going to advance time so you know how the moon, where it is in the sky, changes from night to night as we're going towards full. So again, at 7 p.m., now it's closer to the east, it's closer to when it's rising. So here I'm at the 25th, and now I need to rotate my view. And the full moon will be rising right around 7 p.m.-ish on the 27th, which means that if you want to check out the full moon rising, just wait until the 27th, go outside about 7 p.m., look to the east, and you can watch a moonrise. And moonrises are always exciting. There's this wonderful optical illusion, it's not real, that when a moon is rising, if there are things on the horizon, buildings, trees, things like that, the moon really looks like it's bigger in the sky. It's not physically bigger in the sky. It's an optical illusion because we have a reference point, our objects on the horizon, that make it look bigger. If you don't believe me, you can always stick out your pinky at arm's length. That's 1 degree from one side to the other. The moon has an angular size of half a degree. So from one edge of the pinky to the middle of your pinky. and measure the angular size of the moon. And then wait for a while and measure the angular size of the full moon after it's risen and moved away from the horizon. So then we can advance hours and you'll watch the full moon rise as it makes its way towards its meridian crossing somewhere a little bit after midnight. All right, so now you have an orientation of how to observe the moon for all the way from first quarter until we have our full moon. You can catch a full moon rising if you go out at sunset. You can catch every one of the other moon risings for the next week, but you have to go out a little bit earlier. It'll be harder to see those against the daylit sky, but you can do it. Try to snap a picture of the moon, post it on the Canvas site, and I really wish you some happy moon viewing. And I really do hope that you saw the Perseverance lander and you pay your tribute by finding Mars as well, sort of a bonus objective in our night sky, and saying hello. All right, I'll see you in our next episode of In Our Night Sky.